so by golly, we're going to deliver on it. With us tonight, in another part of the studio, is our two of our guests. Live via satellite of maybe about 10 feet. Our two of our guests. First, we'll introduce Bill Fundero, and he works at Tiger Stadium. He retrieves the balls. Isn't that right, Bill?
Bill's the one on the right.
Bill, by the way, is the one on the right, wearing the blue sweater. And next to him, I guess on the left, is John Davids. John is an architect that has been, correct me if I'm wrong, you've been commissioned by the Save the Tiger Stadium fan club to
This is
redesign.
project designer.
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
project
Tiger
design.
Stadium Fan Club. We work with them to do a plan to renovate Tiger Stadium.
Okay, great. So as you can see, we have two different kinds of guests on the show tonight. If you'd like to give them a call, 271-4848 is the number to ask them any kind of questions that you might have for them in either way. We'll have them on for a little while, about 15 or 20 minutes or so. So if you have any questions about Tiger Stadium, the stadium itself, or about the Tigers,
New plans
or anything, or about what it's like to work for the Tigers, you can give both these gentlemen a call. Okay, so 271-4848 is the number. But in the meantime, we'll start with Bill. Bill, tell us a little bit about what you do with the Tigers.
Well, I'm the Tiger ball man. I've been working there for, this is my 22nd year, about 20 years being on the field, and it's just been great. I come 2 hours before the game. I meet with the Tiger manager and get his lineup. Then I go to the visitors, have to locate that somewhere in the clubhouse on the wall. Then I take it to the press rooms. They got one downstairs, write it on the board, take it upstairs, run off some copies, make sure that the media trucks and everybody gets everything, the lineups, the umpires. And then basically I just go stand on the field and do a little security until game time comes. And by that time, after the big song, I take my bag of balls the umpires give me all rubbed down. 60 balls we start the game with. And then I just sit there behind home plate, and I don't work until one fouls off.
What a way to make a living.
Yeah.
Well, you were telling me earlier, 60 balls per game. Is that an average amount that do you really use all 60 of the balls usually, or?
Well, we start out with 60, and most of the time, throughout the game, depending on the type of pitching you're getting and how they're fouling them off. If they go in the dirt or on the screen or up against the wall, then they get scuffed up and marked, and I can't rub it up. Then we throw it out. They use it for batting practice.
Oh, no kidding.
But then I got to keep a watch on how many balls we got going, because just so many times the batter can bing them off back and forth, and you go through like that one year in '84 when Bergman fouled off 13 and hit the 14th one for a home run.
Yeah, you got a little low on the supply.
Like right there's a dozen plus, and so you got to watch. And
have you ever ran out ever? Or?
Oh no, I wouldn't.
Wouldn't dream of it.
No, I'd be probably in Cleveland right now. But you keep watching, keep a nice supply, and they come real quick too. But usually we've been going through about a dozen, 2 dozen per game,
So how many
because
is in
I
a
got to
year?
return at least 20 some balls in the bag, make sure that there's a good amount to end the game with.
Now the extra ones, do they carry over to the next game or?
Right.
Okay.
Whatever's left, then the umpire adds to make 60 for the next day, and they rub them up with a special mud,
Right.
and get them all prepared, and there we go. We go back at it the next day.
And you've been doing this 22 years?
20 years on the field.
20 years. Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
Now, were you there for both series, 68 and 84?
Well,
20 years.
right.
Back that up.
Yeah, I started in '68.
Okay.
Oh, what a year to start.
Yeah, great year. They needed help. They started getting the big crowds, and I was going down there, and I was a kid usher in high school and in grade school, and I knew a lot of the bosses, and they said, hey, after college, they put me on. But kind of the '68 series, I was kind of so far away up in the, packed away where the rookies start. I had to buy a newspaper to see what the score was on those games. But I caught the big one was the 84 one, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
But an all-star game in '71, the playoff in 72, and so it's been rewarding and just fun.
Well, it's an interesting position that you have there, but you also hold a full-time job. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. A lot of people think that the people that work down there, that's their only job. Well, there are many that just have that, one job. But myself, I've been teaching school at St. Mary's of Redford, and now I'm at St. Alphonsus, and I'm also the athletic director there. Did a little coaching, do basketball.
Yeah.
So
Right here in Dearborn.
yeah, right down the street.
Right down the road from Cablevision. So, well, we
Keeps me
appreciate
busy.
you being on here. If you have any questions for Bill or John, as we're going to get to in a minute, 271-4848 is the number. And as we mentioned, we don't want to forget our other guest, John Davids, tonight. John, you've been commissioned again by the Save the Tiger Stadium fan club to redesign Tiger Stadium. Do I have that right?
Yeah, really, the charge we were given, my wife and I are members of the fan club, and we go to about 50 games a year, and it's a place that we're real familiar with. And when the rumor started about 3 years ago that the Tigers were going to abandon Tiger Stadium and build a new stadium, they formed the Tiger Stadium fan club, and the task given to us was to come up with a plan that would renovate Tiger Stadium while maintaining its intimacy and the kind of the special character it has, but make it a modern facility as far as restrooms and concession stands and all the things that a modern stadium has, but not to completely tear it down and rebuild it, which would be very expensive and really ruin the kind of character that Tiger Stadium has.
Okay. Well, so what have you come up with since they commissioned you then? What is your plan, I guess, to save the stadium?
Okay, well, the plan is called the Cochran Plan. It'll be featured actually on your Focus on Dearborn show on the week from October 18th to 24th. We give a full presentation of the plan. Essentially what it does, it leaves all the seating intact at Tiger Stadium, adds luxury suites so that the Tigers can make more revenue at their current stadium, and while it maintains the interior character of Tiger Stadium, it adds new facilities. There's 4 major additions around the outside, so that once you get up from your seat to use the bathroom or use the concession stands, you'll have all the brand new facilities that a new stadium would have, and the clubhouses are all made larger, the commissary kitchens are all made larger, the office space, the storage space, security, everything you have in a new stadium has been added to the exterior of Tiger Stadium, because it was actually quite easy to do at Tiger Stadium because of the configuration of the stadium to add these kind of facilities to Tiger Stadium.
Okay, so then basically you're trying to keep things right on the spot, as opposed to we've heard some rumors about Tiger Stadium moving to Dearborn. We've talked about that a lot on this show. About Tiger Stadium coming here to Dearborn. Certain rumors have been started about that, but your intention is to preserve the original stadium itself, just kind of update it a little.
Right, exactly. There's been polls done, and the great majority of people in Michigan and Detroit prefer to save Tiger Stadium as opposed to building any new stadium, and we feel that taxpayers have already spent over the last 50 years millions and millions of dollars developing that area, developing freeways that lead to it, and that to stick the taxpayers with a huge bill for a new stadium that nobody wants, and that now with the Cochran Plan we see that we don't need, would be ludicrous with all the needs that we have in this area for public money.
Okay, we're if we can get a shot of the we have the graphic, I think, available of I guess the before and after. Is that what it is?
No, those are actually just 2 of the elevations.
Oh, it's two of the shots. You can kind of see right there what the stadium will look like, or what it's proposed to look like. So
right,
like
the exterior wouldn't change an awful lot in appearance, except there'd be a brand new top to the stadium because the luxury suites would replace the abandoned third deck. And so it'd get kind of a new top, I think more of a Vital skyline, more of a Detroit kind of a skyline than it currently has. And there'd be new elevator towers to get people up to the luxury suite level, and it would also get people to all areas of the stadium who are physically handicapped. Right now, Tiger Stadium's not very barrier-free for physically handicapped people. It would really open up the whole stadium for everybody.
Are there any plans, do you have any plans for like parking structures to go along with this, or just keep the parking the way it is now?
Well,
because a lot of people make revenue off that parking.
That's one of the things we feel is really quite good about Tiger Stadium. You have a complete range of choices at Tiger Stadium. You can free park 8 blocks away, or you can pay $5 or $6 and park right next to the stadium. If you go to some place like the Silverdome or the Palace, you pay their price to park, and that's the only place you can park, and you have no choice in the matter. And also what it does is a new stadium, if one were to be built anywhere, like Dearborn, for example, a new stadium would be surrounded by controlled parking, which means none of the neighborhood businesses are going to benefit from the stadium.
Yeah.
At Tiger Stadium, you go to the game, you meet friends afterwards at a bar or a restaurant, and you use the neighborhood businesses and parking areas. What the Tigers have in mind is a stadium surrounded by controlled parking. People will drive in, cause, I think, a lot of traffic congestion, then leave Dearborn and go back to their own local areas, probably to go to a restaurant or bar. So really, I don't think will be a boon to the Dearborn area like it is at Tiger Stadium right now because of the configuration that there is at Tiger Stadium.
Now, also, how long would it take for these renovations to be built? Or, I mean, could they play baseball while they're being built, or would it be done before the season? Or
no, it's a 22-month construction period, and the major structural work on the inside of the stadium takes place over 2 off seasons, and then the finishing work would be done during the day, during the season, Construction crews normally leave a site at 4:30 or 5 o'clock. The gates open at 5:30 for a weeknight game. So the scheduling works out very well for a baseball season. So in a little less than 2 years, all the work would be completed, and the Tigers would be then generating enough money just from the luxury suites alone to pay for the entire construction of all the project, so it wouldn't cost anybody a penny because they would pay for it up front, much like the Palace was financed.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. 271-4848 is the number to call if you have a question for either John Davids or Bill Fundero. John, again, is the architect commissioned to redesign Tiger Stadium. Bill is an employee with the Detroit Tigers. He retrieves the balls and gets the batting lineups and that kind of stuff. So both different personalities dealing with the same organization. But I think that the thing that both you probably share in common, and correct me if I'm wrong, I guess, is that both of you really care about the organization. Is that, do I have that right?
Definitely.
Yep.
What do you think, Bill? Would you like to see the stadium move, or you have no opinion?
Boy, I like Tiger Stadium, but then again, I'm a fan of all the old stadiums. I went out to Kaminsky to say goodbye to that during the 4th of July weekend with my son, and you know, I kind of like the old ballpark. The old ball yard's really been beautiful.
You work all 82 games, is that right?
Most of them. There's a few that I had to take off because of for school reasons.
Sure.
And but most of them, yep.
That doesn't interfere with any of your work with, say, St. Alphonsus or any other thing that you have going? Or?
Not really, because you know, most of the games are night games, short of opening day. But even the mayor takes that one off, so I that's I'm entitled to that. I see the governor and I see those guys, and I say, hey, here's Bill Fundero too. But like I say, most of the games are, in fact, all the games are at night and on weekends, and just work your schedule around. And yeah, the school comes first.
Sure, sure.
But in the heart, sometimes, you know, the
but
Tigers
it's still got to be kind of a thrill to be down there with all the players and get to, you know, kind of be part of the action in a way.
Well, definitely, because you know, you get to know the players at a different level. They're personal friends. They're not remote. You joke with them, you talk with them, you you cry with them when they're traded, and you know, it's a great experience. You know, it's nice bringing your kids around and letting them see this type of atmosphere too.
That was a question that I had. I know you've probably met hundreds of different players in that, but is there any like one player that really stands out as like a real interesting character, someone who's just really off the wall, or maybe a real comedian all the time, or always has some kind of smart remark to make, or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot of personalities. You know, in the 22 years that I've been there, you know, they're all different. They all project a different type of humor. You got your Steve Lyons. You saw what he did. When he dropped his pants this year without even thinking. You know, it's him. It's then you got your Doug Raiders. If you ever read Ball 4 and some of the antics, and then the players. You know, it's a long season. They're always pranking each other. Hot foots, pies in the face while they're doing commercials or interviews, and dumping water, and it's a lot of fun down there.
Well, terrific.
Really
well, listen, we really appreciate both of you coming down and sharing some of your time with us, and hopefully things will work out for the benefit of both of you. And let's just hope the Detroit Tigers stay around for us for another 50, 60 years at least, huh?
Yeah.
Bill Fundero and John Davids, thank you very much for coming in and chit-chatting with us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Okay, thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Okay.
And just maybe remind everybody once again that John Davids is going to be on Focus on Dearborn,
Right.
Discussing his plan more in depth, and that for people who might have been interested in finding out more about that, hearing more about the plan.
More information, they can call us up. So,
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so there you go. A little bit of background info on the Tigers, Tiger Stadium, and some of the background that goes with it. But first, we're going to take this break. We'll be back with Chit Chat with the Cable Guys. 271-4848 is the number to call about anything. Don't forget about the free pizza we have coming up, and we still need some people to call us up on that too. So we'll be back in a few minutes with that. Bye.